and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I'm very excited to show you one of the brand new stamp sets which is coming out in the new catalogue in June, which is only a few weeks ago. I hope most of you will receive your catalogues already. If not, they will be winging their way to you. And this is one that I thought I am going to use again and again and again. I'm very careful when I choose my sets because I want something that I'm going to use. I don't want it that I use it for one thing and then it sits on the shelf. We've got a beautiful flower. We've got two lovely sort of backgroundy, swirly pattern things. We've got a lovely leaf, sort of a little spriggy floral thing, a beautiful feather, and some lovely sentiments. So I thought we would start and make a card using the lovely flower and this sort of spriggy bit on here and see what we can do. So we are going to take a background piece, and then we've got a piece of scrap for the flower because we're going to cut it out. Now, if you're starting out stamping, there is so much choice and so much out there that it's sometimes quite difficult to know what to get, and you want something that'll cover a lot of things, allow you to make a lot of cards, and not invest a huge amount. So this one stamp set I think will cover you for just about everything. Now, I'm using soft suede because I don't want a harsh outline or a harsh flower. So let's have a look and see how this stamps out. I'm going to do a couple because then I can do one for later on. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Beautiful. It's got a real sort of three-dimensional look to it, the way it's been shaded. So that's absolutely lovely. Let me just bring it up a little bit closer for you so you can see. Let's bring it up like this. Hope it'll focus. I mean, look at the detail in that. That is absolutely stunning. Okay, so we now need to do a little bit of colouring on this, I think. So what are we going to colour it in? I want something that's fairly sort of, I don't know, pretty and subtle, but what colours do I want to use? I'm going to use blends, I think, because blends are quite a simple, easy way of colouring, but I haven't really sort of thought about the colours that I'm going to choose. We want the centres to be, or we want the centre to have the yellow in, so I'm using the light and the dark Daffodil Delight, if I've got enough of it left, actually. Now, I don't know whether I need to leave this to... Oh, yes, I've got a little bit. So I'm just going through with the light first. To just sort of take a little bit of colour on there. And then I'm going to go in with the dark to just give a little bit of shadowing, just in down on the bottom here, and a little bit on here. I'm doing two. I don't know quite why I'm doing two. I think sometimes it's easier to do two at a time. Okay, so what am I going to do? Leaves on the flower. Do I want it? I want it fairly subtle, I think, so I might choose let's choose some pinks for this one. As I say, choose whatever blends you want or you like, and I'm hoping, let me have a look, I've just got to check this out on a bit of scrap to see. Oh yes, that's fine. I didn't know whether I had a lot left or not, because some of my blends are running out a bit, so I didn't want to start colouring it and then find that should be fine. Okay, so with this I'm going to do the pale first, and I'm literally just going over Oh, this is rather nice actually, because it brings out the brown beautifully. You've got all your shadow pieces and things in here, so you can add your dark if you want to, but I don't even know whether I'm going to add any dark in, because the lines of the flower itself just make it absolutely beautiful. But as I say, whatever alcohol markers you've got, just choose some colours that you like. If you haven't got alcohol markers, you can use pencils, you can use our inks and a watercolour, an aqua painter or something to colour them in with. Okay, so that's the first bit on there. That's actually really lovely like that. I need to sort of strengthen the other bit. So I'm now going to use the dark and literally just pick up just some of the shading. It's quite good, and I'm no expert at doing watercolouring or colouring in things, but if you follow where the dark is and just add some definition where that dark is, it should give you just the shadow that you want. Now this is sort of dark round on here, so I'm just going to give just a little bit down on there, just a little bit on there. So as I say, it's quite a good one because it gives you all the bits that you really need. And you can just sort of, as it dries, because the alcohol evaporates off, then you're left with just a little bit more on there. I'm only going to do the one and I'll play around with the other one. Okay, so I want to bring out the inside of this a little bit more, so let me put them back in my slot, and I think I'm going to choose this is Calypso Coral, so I want to I haven't got very much of that one in actually. Let's see if I can get the other end off. I do, as you know, I do struggle and the insides come out on a lot of them, so but I wanted something that was a little bit, let's try this darker yellow again. See if I can get the top off of that one. Okay, so I just want to bring this in and make it darker in on here. That's better. So it needs to have a brighter centre. Okay, but that's beautiful, as I say, for colouring it through. That's absolutely lovely. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. You can obviously, you know, do a lot more. Then we're just going to literally fussy cut it out. So I'm going to take one of them out so I can do it afterwards. And fussy cutting is, it's not as difficult as you imagine, as long as you turn your paper as you go. And again, you know, I'm no expert at everything. I've just picked it up over time, and it's like everything, the more you practice the better you get. And I'm doing this fairly close to the edge because I don't want to have a little white shadow on it. If you like having the white shadow, then just do it a little bit apart, but I just wanted to cut this out. But I absolutely love this flower. I think it's so pretty. And I think doing it in the soft suede has made it quite soft. I think if I'd done it in black, it would have been a little harsh. And sometimes if we use softer colours, whereas if I'd done it too pale, so if I'd gone for a smoky slate, I think it would have been too, there wouldn't have been enough definition. So a neutral like crumb cake would have worked, but I wanted something just a little bit darker. So soft suede is a really rather nice tone of brown. So I'm doing this relatively carefully so you can see how I would do it. So just turning it round as I go. But it's not a difficult shape, and this is quite good. You don't need to have all of the dies and die cutting machines and things like that. A pair of scissors and a nice varied stamp set, some paper and some ink, and you're away. And that's how I think that's how we all started. You know, you start small, and as you build your confidence up, then you develop your own skill and your own style. I think everybody has their own style. You know, there's certain things that I enjoy doing, and there's other things that I don't, and I go like, it's not really me, I'm not going to have a go at doing that. So there we go. So that's cut that beautiful flower out, which I think is going to look absolutely stunning on there, and quite soft. I wanted it fairly soft. So let's take a look at this this sort of leafy sprig, which I think will be quite pretty. And again, I'm trying to keep all my cards fairly sort of simple so that anybody can have a go. Now we're going to do the foliage in let's have it in Pear Pizzazz. So, which is one of my favourites, because again it's quite a soft green. We have lots of different greens, but I think the Pear Pizzazz will look rather nice. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to stamp one in that direction and turn it round and do another one in the other direction, and I can do that just sort of down a little bit, or maybe like that. Okay, so you can see there's a piece in the middle, but when we put the flower in the centre, it's not going to show. Now I could put another one. Do I want another one sort of in underneath? No, because I'm going to put a sentiment. So I think the two will be perfect. So let's just clean this one off. And then we can put that back. But I think that little sprig's going to be lovely, because you could colour in the inside of it however you want. So you can take a little bit of something like Wink of Stella is quite good. Let me show you on this one. So if you get a little bit of Wink of Stella and you very carefully just go over the leaves, it can just blend it through just a little bit. And I don't want all of them, so I'm just sort of picking out a few. You might not be able to see this very well because Wink of Stella doesn't really show up on camera, but as I say, I'm just doing a little bit because I don't want it all. I want some to sort of show as they are. But that I think is going to be fine. And what it does is it just blends through the ink a little bit. So you've got just a little bit of sparkle and shine in there, which will be quite pretty. And then we're going to have our flower up on our dimensional in the centre. And I want to put a sentiment. So we've got the good things in life are better with you. That's a nice one. Or you are so special. Oh, I don't know. I think either would work. So let me just, in fact, yes, I'm going to use a large one because we're doing a smallish sort of image. So let me just get out a long block. And this is where you can line your block up. It's very difficult because I can't stick my head in over the top because of the light. So I'm going to just put it down on here. And then you can line up your, says me, I always have to look at it this way round, but then you can line up your sentiment so it runs nice and straight. And And I'm going to do it in, because I've started with the soft suede. I'm not going to take black because again it will be too stark and I want this to be quite soft. So I'm going to do it with the soft suede. So just making sure it's inked up nicely. And then we can put this down just about there. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Look at that font. Oh, I do like that. I think that's going to be absolutely lovely. And I think we can use this one again. There's lots and lots of ideas I've got. So, let's say one stamp set, I think we'll probably be able to make, I don't know, a dozen different cards in different ways with this. So let's start off simple and we might do something a little bit more exciting as we go along. Okay, so this is then going to very simply go onto a, let's just put those up there for a minute. I'm going to have it on a Pear Pizzazz background. Yes, which will work beautifully. And then I'm going to put this little one up with dimensionals. So let me just get my dimensional box out. Sorry, it'll be off camera, but I can't open it and put it on there. And we're going to put the standards in. So just a few on the back. Oops. Like that. Do I want one further up? Yes, I might have 4 actually. It's one of those things, you start putting dimensionals on and you end up putting more and more. But dimensionals just give that little bit of height and make the flower look even more 3-dimensional. So just put that out of there. So we're going to put the flower just in on the centre of those leaves coming out. I'm not going to glue it down onto the base at the moment, but you can see what a pretty card that is, and what an absolutely lovely stamp set. I can never see whether I'm actually in. There we go. How pretty is that? I think that's absolutely gorgeous. I really love that set, and that's literally just using the flower and the leaf and one of the sentiments. Can't wait to play with some of the other ones. So as I say, come back. This is the new one that comes out on, I think it's the 4th of June, 1st of June, beginning of June. So as I say, thank you so much for watching me. The stamp set is Tasteful Touches, and look forward to seeing you again. And as always, stay safe. Bye bye.